Hey, how are ya? It's Gillian. Gillian Harris, Worldwide Metaphysical Services. You can find me at GillianHarrisWorldwide.com so long as you spell my name right with a G. I've been thinking about taking this off, but it's part of my thing right now because we're talking about the coronavirus. And, here we have this thing, more infective than the previous viruses, spreads faster, attaches to the human cell 1,000 times more aggressively, lives perfectly well on a dry surface. Talk about the coronavirus, the bug. It lives perfectly well on a dry surface for 9 days if you leave it alone, if you don't disturb it. So we're doing a lot of things, to protect ourselves, because the story is that basically until they come up with enough test kits to test us all, because if you don't test, then you don't know where it is. And if you don't know where it is, then it keeps popping up in places. And uncontained, they say, and we're not going to uncontain. We're not doing that. We are containing, which is how this is coming up. But uncontained, they say that globally, 45 million people could die. That's, and a lot of them, over 60. If you're over 60, you have a 20% chance, or you're 20 times more likely to not be here after you get this particular virus. Not cool. Be healthy, eat your leafy greens and whatnot, right? So we need enough test kits to test and see who has it and who doesn't have it. Until we know who does and who doesn't, then we, as smart individuals, are containing this situation. Myself, this is the bag that I carry. I carry it over here like this, it's one of these. And when I see a door coming up, I'm like, boom, boom. Well, I'm faster than I am right now, and I'm ready. And by the time I get to that door, I'm like, whack. This is bleach. And I have some kind of a winter fresh bleach. But I'm like wiping that door thing to open it. And then I go up to any counter where I am and wipe the counter down. I wipe the counter down, and then I've got one of these because my eyes water. And I said, oh my God, I can't be like putting my hands to my eyes out there in the world. It's a war zone out there right now, a cootie war zone. So I bought a bunch of little things of Kleenex so I can do that. But on those counters that I've now wet with and then I'm like, hey, do you have a trash can? And usually if it's a bank teller or whatever, they're like, yeah, here's the trash can. And I throw it in. Now, the first time I went in and did this, because I realized, we're kind of self-conscious. We don't really want to, do all that. Like, are we really that nervous and whatnot? Not, hardly anybody's wearing the masks right now and stuff. So it feels kind of funny. My masks just haven't arrived yet, and I'm very excited actually to wear them. I got really cool masks. I did get one of the honest to goodness what doctors wear N95s. I got 2 of those actually. But then I got some really cool, like a tie-dyed one, and there's one with a heart on it, and stuff like that. And I know that those don't work as well, but they are over your face, and they help a little bit. They can't possibly not help at all, just because the cootie could come around and go in like that. But, it helps a little bit. And at very least, it helps you remember, don't touch your face. This thing is on your face, or, oh yeah, don't touch my face. Got it. Till I've washed my hands. And one of those benefits being we're washing our hands like crazy. And I just think we should be doing that anyway. who knows how many other cooties we're saving ourselves from as a result of doing that. Better habits, and just keeping your houses and offices and desks and everything just, cleaner. So we're doing this, but now they're also saying other stuff to us like, okay, I'm a medium and an intuit and all that stuff. So I'm picking up energy before hearing the news. I go to pay my rent the other day, and I give the rent to Tammy, and I love Tammy. Tammy's love Tammy. She works in the office, and this day I caught her outside. And I wasn't going to have to go in, which was good because I'd forgotten my little bleach thingies. And so I'm like, hey, this is perfect. How are you? Here. And I hand her the checks, which I had 2 checks to make my rent. And I hand that to her. And I noticed that we're about 6 feet apart. And there's this part of me that wants to go up and hug her. But I also realized that I can't move. There's a block. I'm not able to move, and I realize that's coming from her, and she's keeping her distance. And then I realize that she's keeping her distance because of this COVID-19 thing, and we're talking about the fact that we can't find hand sanitizer. And then she lets me know that you can make hand sanitizer with some rubbing alcohol and some aloe plants. I'm like, shut up, really? I didn't know that. They're all over the neighborhood. We could sneak some. Anyway, yeah, but I knew not to get any closer. And then later, like a day or so later, I heard about the advice that we stand at least, I think it's 6 feet apart when talking to each other, so that little spittles don't end up in the other people's nose and eyes and mouths and whatnot. I saw this news footage of, I think it's Hong Kong, and the people sit down at a restaurant table, and then the server slides this sheet of glass between the people. Oh my God. Did you feel that? Something about that feels so awful. The separateness, the distancing. Oh my gosh. And that's part of what I want to talk about. Like, I wanted to hug Tammy, and I didn't get to hug Tammy. And then I learned that, we're not really hugging. My computer guy came over 2 days ago, and I'm like, do I get to hug you? He's like, yeah. So we hug each other. But, but that's him. And he's doing what he's supposed to do. So, and I was conscious when I hugged him too. I was actually kind of careful when I hugged him. But then another day, just a day or so ago, I go to the dispensary, and there's a gentleman, and he sees me, and he wants to open the door for me. I'm like, oh, thank you. And I've got my bleach, right? And I wipe I'm like, and I have to feel like I need to say something when I'm wiping the door handle thing. So I wipe the door handle. I'm like, don't you worry, I got us covered. And I wipe it, and he looks at me like, really? And then there's like another door to go through, and I wipe that knob. I'm like, yeah, you don't have to worry about a thing. And then they buzz me through the next door, and this guy's behind me, but he thinks I'm one of those just over the top, extreme people. And I think he's one of those who inadvertently will carry and spread the virus all over the place because he's not paying attention and washing his hands and doing what he's supposed to do. Until we know where it is, we don't know where it is. And it's invisible, and if it can live on a surface for 9. Okay, so anyway, here's the thing. I feel that this social distancing is harmful. We're companion animals by nature. And this being afraid of each other, not gathering, like 2 of my businesses, the biggest one, both of them, I mean, most of what I do is dependent upon people gathering. I own a valet parking service. We do private events. And People are not gathering. It feels exactly like 9/11. And I didn't have my company at 9/11 yet, but I worked for another valet company at the time. And I watched the systematic cancellations as people were terrified that something was going to happen when, at their event. So they felt, for a few months that, oh my God, that, we could be targeted by terrorists right here in my home. And so they didn't have valet. And it was just, oh my God. So it feels like that again, as people are canceling, our biggest clients are canceling, and the events that are happening are really small and they're emergencies. They're like a memorial. Memorial happened. So, I'm like, okay, thank you. Got something. But people don't want to gather. So what do we do? I feel good that I'm going to tell Tammy to watch this video and she'll know that I wanted to hug her. So that should feel good to her. And what I came up with the other day is I feel like we need to now verbalize what we would have maybe just, done in action. Now I feel like we need to say it. And if we say it, gosh, there's something extra awesome about that. It really makes you get conscious about what it is you feel and the value you feel for another person. And then you get to say it to them. I teach a course called Spirit Families, Why We Flock, how to identify, heal, and celebrate your tribe. And it's that last part right there where, the whole reason, one of the main reasons that I decided to even teach this is because people often wait until it's too late, until a spirit being, somebody that they really love, has left this incarnation. And then they're like, oh my God, if not for them, I would never, blah, blah. I never would have found my whatever to reach my la la, And instead of saying it to that person, like say it while they're fine, while they're healthy, while they're here. And you can just celebrate the relationship that you have. And, it's a long thing that kind of going off subtopic, but I believe that all relationships, especially with our spirit family, are meant to be. And they're not an accident, and they're for learning and growing and for and to be celebrated, So now we have this thing happening, and we can't even hug each other, really. My parents, are in their 80s, and I felt a little sniffly. I went and got the flu shot like a week or so ago, and I felt a little sniffly today. So I'm like, I better not go see them. I don't want them to be weakened in face of this thing. Oh my God, it's so weird, but I miss my mommy and my daddy. I have to hug them, oh my God. So there we are. My suggestion is to verbalize what you feel. If we can't act on what we feel, let's go out of our way to verbalize it. And actually, that could be an even more beautiful thing. And when we can touch and hug again, boy, that's going to be an amazing day. I can't wait. All right. It's been awesome streaming with you today. I hope you're well. Remember, you can find me at GillianHarrisWorldwide.com, and that's Gillian with a G. Be well, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.